We need to really do it. And how are we going to do it? The first thing that we've got to do is we've got to get past this shame, this idea that an autism diagnosis is like hearing your kid's got syphilis. Here is a fact. You know from the introduction that I've served now for almost a decade on these government committees that steer the direction of science for autism in the world and also the direction of research and education and so forth. And I've been privileged to talk with a great many scientists and to have people explain things to me and answer my questions. I've had opportunities few have had to learn what we know about autism. One of the things that I have learned is that a majority of autism has a combination of a genetic and an environmental cause. That means that there are traits that we inherit, predispositions, if you will. And in some of us in a family, they're expressed as autistic. In others in a family, they might be expressed as geeky. And in others in the family, they're not expressed at all. But this thread of autism runs in many families. So it is true that there are some families that you meet, about a third of them, where autism is what they would call idiopathic, or it's de novo. It just came out of the blue. There are no autistic family members. But in 2/3 of the cases, there's an autistic brother. There's a dad who's autistic and he's not diagnosed. There's a mother with traits. And this isn't new. If you go back and you read the writings of Hans Asperger and Leo Kanner, the two men who published the original descriptions of the autism we know today in 1943, both of those doctors made the observation that in many cases the parents were like the children. And that remains true today. But for some reason, the parents are afraid to own it. And all of you who are parents, what I would say to you today is one of the greatest gifts that you can give your child is to think really carefully, where's the autism, where's the geekiness in my family tree? Was my grandfather, and he always said he's kind of crazy old coot? Or how about my uncle, would never talk to anyone? Were they maybe autistic? And to share those stories with your child. Maybe it's you. Maybe the reason that you're so diligent in researching the law. Maybe the reason that you have to ensure that everything is perfectly straight and square in your construction work. Maybe it's because you're a little bit autistic too. Maybe, in fact, you were called retarded and stupid, just like me when you were growing up, and maybe you're kind of ashamed to admit it. Maybe there are things that you're ashamed of and you think you're shielding your son by not owning it. But if you can say to your child, that autism thing, it's in me too, and it's made me what I am, and it's going to make you what you are. Think what power that's going to bring to your children.